Life is a journey marked by changing seasons, moments of joy, seasons of waiting, times of struggle, and days of abundance. But through it all, one truth remains constant: God's faithfulness. Lamentations 3:22-23 reminds us, "Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness." Today, we'll walk together through the beauty of God's faithfulness, discovering how to trust him more deeply in every season of life. This journey will reflect on his promises, the lessons in waiting, the strength in struggles, and the blessings of his provision. Wherever you find yourself today, know this: God's faithfulness is your anchor, your hope, and your peace. Chapter 1. The foundation of God's faithfulness. God's faithfulness is not just a promise, it's who he is. Psalm 89:8 declares, "Who is like you, Lord God Almighty? You, Lord, are mighty, and your faithfulness surrounds you." Faithfulness is at the heart of God's character. It means he keeps his promises, fulfills his word, and remains steadfast no matter what. Reflect on the foundation of your own life. Is it built on shifting sands or on the unchanging faithfulness of God? His promises are the bedrock you can stand on when life's storms come. One of the most powerful ways to build trust in God is by remembering his faithfulness in the past. Psalm 77:11 says, "I will remember the deeds of the Lord. Yes, I will remember your miracles of long ago." Think back to moments when God provided for you, protected you, or guided you through uncertainty. These memories are testimonies of his unchanging nature. Write them down, speak them aloud, and let them remind you that the same God who was faithful before will be faithful again. Chapter 3. Navigating seasons of waiting. Waiting is never easy, but it is often where God does his greatest work. Isaiah 40:31 assures us, "Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength." Seasons of waiting teach us patience, trust, and perseverance. They remind us that God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with ours. Like the seed that takes time to grow, God is preparing something beautiful in your waiting season. Trust that his timing is worth the wait. Chapter 4. Finding peace in the storms of life. Life's storms can leave us feeling overwhelmed and uncertain, but God's faithfulness is our refuge in the chaos. Psalm 46:1 reminds us, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble." When the winds of life feel too strong, anchor yourself in his promises. He will never leave you, never forsake you, and never let you face the storm alone. Chapter 5. God's promises in seasons of struggle. Struggles refine us, but they can also make us question God's presence. Psalm 34:18 assures us, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Your struggles are not a sign of God's absence. They are an invitation to lean deeper into his strength. His promises are a lifeline in the darkest valleys, guiding you toward his light. Chapter 6. Rejoicing in seasons of abundance. Seasons of abundance remind us of God's provision and goodness. James 1:17 declares, "Every good and perfect gift is from above." Gratitude keeps us humble and connected to the one who blesses us. In moments of abundance, let your heart overflow with thanksgiving, and let your blessings inspire generosity toward others. Chapter 7. God's faithfulness in community. God often shows his faithfulness through the people he places in our lives. Hebrews 10:24-25 encourages us, "Let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds." Your community is a reflection of God's love. Lean on them in hard times, rejoice with them in good times, and let their faith strengthen your own. Chapter 8. The transformative power of trust. Trusting God transforms the way we live. It frees us from fear, strengthens our faith, and opens our hearts to his plans. Proverbs 3:5-6 calls us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Take small steps of trust today and watch how God's faithfulness carries you forward. Chapter 9. God's faithfulness through generations. God's faithfulness spans generations. Deuteronomy 7:9 reminds us, He is the faithful God, keeping His covenant of love to 1,000 generations. Your faith today plants seeds of hope for tomorrow. Share your stories of God's faithfulness with those around you, leaving a legacy of trust and love. Chapter 10. Resting in God's promises. Rest is a gift that comes from trusting God's promises. Matthew 11:28 invites us, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." Lay your worries at His feet and let His peace fill your heart. Chapter 11. Living with unshakable faith. Faith in God's faithfulness allows us to face life with courage and hope. 2 Corinthians 5:7 reminds us, "For we live by faith, not by sight." Step boldly into the future, knowing that God is faithful to guide you every step of the way. Chapter 12. The eternal promise of God's faithfulness. God's faithfulness is not limited to this life, it is eternal. Revelation 21:5 declares, "He who was seated on the throne said, 'I am making everything new.'" Trust in His faithfulness, not only for today, but for eternity. His love never ends, and His promises never fail. God's faithfulness is the thread that weaves through every season of life. In joy and struggle, in waiting and abundance, His promises remain steadfast. Starting today, trust Him more deeply, live boldly in His love, and rest in the assurance that He is faithful, now and forever.